Hi, in this video we'll see a quick overview of the core modules of MAMS. Let me start by saying that MAMS is a lightweight web-based application, which means you can access it from your office network or outside the office network if required. We also install a copy of MAMS on each vessel, which seamlessly syncs data over to Office, so you will be able to centrally manage your vessels through one portal in Office, and each vessel will be pushing daily updates to your Office server. So this MAMS has this web-based architecture, but on the vessel you do not require access to the internet to access the application. There is a local installation on board using which the vessel can access the application and the various modules. Let me quickly start with an overview of the planned maintenance module. In MAMS, every module has three sections. One is the module setup, then we have data, and then we have reports. Module setup is your quick setup. This is your initial setup before you start using any module. Example, in for the PMS module, what we first do is we create a list of your machinery. So every vessel and the related machinery can be added here. You can create machinery groups. Let's say, for example, main propulsion system or electrical power generation. These are the machinery groups that you create. Now we have a database service that will do this for you. If you can provide us the user manuals or soft copies of the data sheets and the technical specifications, we can create a ship specific database for you in this system. After the machinery groups are created, you can add the machinery details for each vessel. So like right now we've selected this one vessel called SDSD 10. So for example, if you go to main propulsion system, you see various sub machinery. So there can be any number of child levels in this machinery groups, and all the machinery related details can be added here. Your machinery code, SFI code, part number, draw number, etc. You can also link counters to machinery, so which will enable you uh, to schedule running hour based jobs. So not only the system provides you an option to do weekly or daily or yearly jobs of scheduling of jobs, but you can also schedule jobs based on running hours, and they become due when the required number of running hours have passed for that particular machinery. You can also add your inventory and spare part lists in the system. You can set minimum and maximum alarm levels, and the system will trigger alerts if those thresholds are crossed. Each spare part can also be linked to machinery and can be used while reporting of jobs, and consumption can be recorded for those machinery. You can also include the entire IMPA catalog in the system, although you need an IMPA license to be purchased for your vessel. We also provide that. We are resellers of the IMPA catalog. So if that is something that interests you, you can please get in touch with us. You can also capture all the vessel certificates in the system and keep a track of the expiration date. The system generates an email alert, or you can also see an overview of all your uh, pending alerts or the actions that need to be taken. For example, you can see your vessel certificates that are expiring. You can directly open the certificate from this list and take the required action. We can also generate email alerts for such events. You can also manage your defects in the system, your inspections. You can create various inspection groups and create inspections based on that. Let me quickly show you the data section. So here we have the maintenance job scheduler. Let me show you an example. So here, for every vessel, you can select the required machinery for which the job has to be created. The job procedure can be added, the job category can be added, there's a job name, and then you can set the desired frequency, hour, day, week, month, year, and the frequency. The last done date is set, and according to the frequency type and the frequency set, the next due date is calculated. You can also tag what spare parts will be required to complete this job. Any checklist that is to be included can also be included here. Each job that then which becomes overdue is then completed, and each time the job is completed, an entire maintenance history is maintained in the system. So in the maintenance job completion section, you can see the history of all the jobs that you've completed. On the top of every screen is a filter bar, so you can filter whatever records that you need to. You can also add or remove the columns that you wish to see. Now we also have an office job scheduler. These are to keep track of jobs that you might want to do in office. Then we have unplanned jobs. These are jobs which are not part of the planned maintenance schedule, or these are unexpected jobs which can also be recorded in the system. So you can link it to your machinery and keep track of all your unplanned jobs or condition based maintenance. Then we have the spare part and inventory section. So you can update the consumption, or you can update the increase the stock of your spare parts or your inventory or your impa list. This can also be done while reporting a job. So when a job is being completed, you have an option to mark the consumption, so the stock is automatically adjusted. So this is a way of manually adjusting the stock if needed. So let me quickly show you how this is done. So this is a list of your spare parts, and here is a transaction log. If I want to add consumption, I can simply click on this plus sign and add quantity, or I can click on the minus sign and decrease the quantity. Similarly, we have class survey schedulers. These are class surveys that are done on machinery. You can create new class schedulers, and you can schedule them and keep track of all your class survey schedulers. So like the maintenance job, a completion history of all your class surveys are also maintained in the system. Then we have a list of all the standard reports. We have your maintenance job scheduler history report, your running hour reset history, your job order report. These are standard reports. Any other report that is required by your organization, we can create custom reports for you. This was a quick overview of the planned maintenance system. Let me quickly jump to the safety management system. So again, like I explained earlier, we have three sections. Module setup. This is where you set up your basic things to start the project. For example, your drill categories or your audit categories or your near miss categories. So all these master lists are created here. Let me jump right into the data section. So here we have your accident near miss form. So you can create your accident or near miss reports and record observations and corrective actions and preventive actions against them. So let me show you a quick example here. So this is, you can select the report type. So it could be an incident, an accident, or anything else that you want to record. You can record if there is any injury related to a particular accident. You can mark the corrective action and preventive action and the person in charge and the target date. You can basically set a target date, and then all your open observations or corrective actions can be listed, and you can keep track of them. Any trainings associated with this incident can also be recorded. The attendance of your crew members can be marked here. Every record can also be reviewed by office, and any corrective action that is to be taken can be recorded here. Then we have your drill scheduler. Just like maintenance job scheduler, we can schedule drills in the system, and when they become due or overdue, you can see them in the alert section as explained earlier. So we have an alert for the safety management. So you can see your accident near miss, your drills, your pending corrective action requests, your safety meetings, etc. Then you can create safety meetings, monthly safety meetings. So let me quickly show you a safety meeting here. So for example, this one here. So you can have your completion remarks, your review last meeting, attendance, minutes of meeting, comments can be taken, action by department responsible, office feedback, and then again office review. Similarly, you have master management review, and we have CAL and audit planning, internal audit reports, master handling slash taking over. All these records, all these safety related issues can be recorded in the system. Again, we have a set of standard fleet statistic reports, so you can generate your fleet statistics in this. Okay, We also have charts for some sections of the modules. So these are static charts, and these are standard in the system. We also have a connector to Power BI. So whatever dashboards or KPIs that you want to see, we can create them in Power BI and show them to you. So this is just an example of one of the charts. So you can see your document via category. You can change the type of chart you want to see. So you can generate these charts in the system. uh, Let me quickly go back to procurement. So I'm going to quickly run you through procurement. Again, we have a module setup where we have your basic, your supplier registration, your supplier details, requisition nature, and then we have account codes. We have account codes, and you can set monthly or annual budgets. You can also have a different set of account codes for your owner and a different set of account codes for the company, and you can map these account codes. You can set up your PO terms and conditions, your expense categories, and your taxes. Let me quickly jump to the data section. So requisitions are usually created on board the vessel, and then they are sent here in office. There are two levels of approval. One is a vessel approval, and then there is an office approval. So here, depending upon the requisition type, so for example, if I'm creating an IMPA requisition, I will be able to select the IMPA category. So if I select tableware and galley utensils, I will be able to select the items in that category. So let me just quickly show you how this is done. So let's say I add these two items, these three items. So I can then simply add the requisition quantity. If I select a different requisition type, let's say inventory, so this will refresh, and I will be able to select my inventory category and eventually add items from my inventory list. And similarly, if I select spare part, I will be able to select the machinery and select the related spares for that machinery. So you can create different requisition types. There is two levels of approval, like I said earlier. Once the requisition is approved, you can then create RFQs. So RFQ is request for quote. So you simply select a new requisition and select the suppliers to which you want to send it to. So for this vessel, I have this requisition. So I can see my requisition items, and I simply select the supplier I want to send it to. I can send it to multiple suppliers, and I can then compare the quotes. Now there's a conventional method of sending the supplier, sending this RFQ to the supplier using Excel export. So you can just simply click on this, and this will export the RFQ information into an Excel sheet. We also have a smarter way of doing this via a web link. So if you click on this send RFQ button, this will open a web link. That link, when the supplier clicks on that link, it does not require a username, password. Whoever has that link can use that link to directly submit a quote in the system. Once you've received all the quotes, you can compare them side by side, choose the best one, and then send it for approval. Again, there are two levels of approval for your quotations also. Once the quote is approved, you can then issue a purchase order directly, and there is a way to send the purchase order to the supplier using this button here. You can send this to a supplier, or you can send it to a forwarder. There's also a link which can be sent to the supplier for them to acknowledge the purchase order. Finally, once the goods are delivered on board, the vessel creates a material receipt. So this is basically the information of the delivery of the order and the quantity that is delivered. This delivery information is automatically updated in the stock of the system. Similarly, you can create delivery in office, or and then later transfer those goods to the vessel. You can also do delivery in warehouse, and then move stock between entities. There's also an option to create a direct purchase order. So if you want to directly issue a purchase order without going through the process of creating a requisition, getting quotations, that can be done. Similarly, you can generate a non-PO invoice. Again, you can capture invoice details and capture payment details related to invoice also in the system. So when you create an invoice, it is a three-way match. So you basically compare the PO quantity, the delivered quantity, and the invoice quantity. So let me quickly show you an example of an invoice. So all the invoice details are automatically captured in the system. You can set an invoice due date, you can create credit notes, debit notes, you can enter pro forma invoice details. Again, invoice also has three levels of approval. You can also record a payment information against the invoices. Okay, so this is the data section. Then we have again a set of standard reports, your budget variance report, your expense report. So we have a list of expense report, running cost summary, monthly expenses summary, and all these reports. So let me quickly show you, let's say, a monthly expenses summary here. So you can select the expense category and the financial year. Okay, so this is an example of a monthly expense summary report. Let me quickly jump to the crew module now. Again, we have modules set up where we can set up your manning agents, your certificate types, your role certificate checklist, etc. Then we have your wage types. Then we have wage types, and we have performance appraisal. So again, this is module setup. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Let me quickly jump into the crew data section. So here we have your crew CV list. This is a list of all the crew CVs that you've collected. You can also create a separate account for your manning agent, and they can directly feed in data into the system. You can also create an email link which you can send to a prospective candidate who can directly update data into a system. Each crew CV, there is a lot of information you can record here. So you can capture your basic personal details, next of kin and children, application details and application status. Then you can capture all the travel documents. The expiry of then each travel document can be monitored. You can get email alerts if any of the documents is expiring. Similarly, you can record the vessel certificates, the work experience, training related details, medical reports, banking details, etc. Then there is an evaluation process for each crew CV. So before the crew becomes an employee in your organization, there is an evaluation procedure, and then there is an approval required. So you can then set evaluation questions, and you can create custom evaluations for each crew member. Finally, once the crew is approved, it appears in your crew employee list, where you can then plan the crew, create signing, enter contract details or sign on, sign off details. Then we have wage linking. So we can create a wage scale matrix for each employee and for each rank, and then the wage can be allocated to the employee. So for example, this is the wage I can create, add a fixed deduction or a fixed pay. So for example, Provident Fund is a fixed deduction or TDS is a fixed deduction. I can set my wage scale, create my wage scale matrix, and then for each rank, and then allocate it to the crew members. So we have your crew relief planning, and there's approval for crew relief planning. Then we have performance appraisals, and we have computer-based trainings. Then we have your variable earnings and deductions. Any variable earnings and deductions can be recorded here. This will automatically be included in the payroll. Home allotments, promotion details, increment details. So you can set the promotion date and the effective from date. Similarly, increment effective date, and then they will be automatically included in the payroll. So you can generate the payroll for your entire crew for a particular vessel from the process payroll screen in one go. So here you can see that. Let me So here is the payroll that has been generated for this particular vessel. You can also generate salary slips for each employee from the system automatically. Again, we have a standard set of reports for each crew member. What we can also do is generate these documents automatically. For example, a crew agreement report can be generated in the desired format automatically. So any documentation that needs to be carried out for your crew members can be done. So we can create report templates. So for example, uh, default employee agreement report. So such kind of reports can be quickly generated from the system. We can create your custom reports and include them in the system. So this is a quick overview of the core modules of MAMS. I hope this video was insightful. Please let us know if you need any further information or if you need details about any particular module. We'll be happy to conduct a live demonstration for you. Thank you.